This behemoth, which is so big it won't even fit in the frame of the camera, is the World of Warcraft the Board Game. A licensed Blizzard product from Fantasy Flight Games for 2 to 6 players ages 12 and up that has solo rules also, a board game by Christian T. Peterson, and just a massive quest-taking and PvP type of board game. Think Runebound, but with content that's too big to actually fit on your table. I've done a video about this before, but this box contains both of its expansions, Shadow of War and the Burning Crusade. I was fortunate enough to get the triumvirate in a single package, sans the boxes. So this is a presentation of those expansions and a little bit of what they have to offer the overall gaming experience. We lift the lid, and you can kind of see there's no lid lift here. not a bit. No, this was about half an inch perhaps of lid lift. I think that it's quite possible to get everything in the box, such as it was when it was shipped to me, without there being any lid lift at all. However, that method entails that you just dump everything in with zero protection. Unfortunately, there were a lot of miniatures that were damaged in the process. So after an extensive, nearly 2-day-long collaborative effort with my wife to get everything sorted and counted and make sure all the pieces and everything were here, we unfortunately found that the expansion, the Burning Crusade expansion, was missing its paladin, a blood elf paladin specifically, so we won't be able to gaze upon his fine features in this episode. But that was the only thing missing. Everything else was just kind of so mixed up that it was really, really difficult and not fun at all to try to count out. But we got it done, and it was one of the most time-intensive board game piece checks I've ever done. You'll notice the Hot Wheels box. These are of my own design. They didn't come with the game. And trust me, I found several different configurations of storing all of this stuff, none of which I truly loved. But the Hot Wheels boxes are a great way to keep this size and this amount of token and chit and tile and card separated and segmented. There really isn't a lot in this one that I had to add from the base game. I'm keeping my special items and my basically every component that shares an item type of some kind with the base game. I'm keeping that separate for now. But there are some tokens in here that were not in here previously. Introducing the poison tokens. There are 15 of these. Setting that off to the side. There hasn't been a lot of changes in regards to the heroes, but additional class cards were added. Let's see, was it with both of the expansions? Since I got them at the same time, it's going to be difficult for me to mentally compartmentalize which one comes with which thing. Power cards. So Shadow of War comes with 10 power cards and 10 talent cards for each of the 9 classes, so 90 cards of each of these types of card in total. It also comes with 39 Destiny cards, 26 event cards, 25 Blue Quest cards, 103 bonus item cards, 20 special item cards, 25 circle item, 18 square item, and 32 triangle item cards. It is actually a pretty small box. I don't have the box. That's part of why this was accessible to me in terms of price. One day I'd like to have the box, I think. Pretty small box expansion. It just comes with a lot of cards to add to the game. The point of Shadow of War is new powers and talents for each of the 9 classes. They follow all the same rules and restrictions as those in the base game. For the item type cards, triangle, square, circle, special, and bonus, you're going to shuffle those into the base game decks as well. The bonus item cards will form a 5th item deck. You'll shuffle the Blue Quest decks cards from this expansion into the base game. Draw the top 3 cards from the Blue Quest deck and place them face up beside the game board. Shuffle in the new event cards, and then there's a new 13th setup step for game sessions that include the Shadow of War expansion. Oh, I keep presenting the cover. I mean, it's really nice. It's really nice imagery. Classic World of Warcraft graphics. You can't go wrong. Just license the graphics and plaster them all over your game. You can't go wrong. It's great. There's literally no flaw in doing that. There's so much key art to choose from if you can license it. You will prepare the Destiny cards included in this expansion. Include the 6 Overlord specific cards that correspond to the Overlord for the current game, and remove the other Overlord specific cards. Then you shuffle the Destiny deck, reveal the top card, and put it into play face up adjacent to the game board. Depending on the number in the lower left corner of the card over the hourglass symbol, either resolve the Destiny card immediately or place a hit token on the turn track. That should all sound familiar if you're a World of Warcraft board game regular. There are rules for equipping powers outside the character management step. There is a spellbook icon making an appearance in the upper right corner. of the character's power card. That indicates you may fast equip the power from your spellbook at the beginning of any of your character actions. Equipping and fast equipping make it seem like they really paid attention to this specific point on character management, so I appreciate seeing that. There are new item cards that are primarily rewarded by blue quests. The bonus item cards work like the item cards from the other item decks with two major differences. For the most part, bonus item cards represent small items, therefore they do not count towards the normal bag capacity limit, which is 3. Instead, a character may have up to 7 item cards stored in his or her bag, in addition to the 3 non-bonus item cards. It's like getting a special bag for your character, and it's only got 7 slots, but it will hold all of your bonus items and nothing else. If a character receives a bonus item card but already has 7 underneath the bag token, you must immediately place one of the bonus items in the merchant deck without receiving any compensation. You just throw it on the ground. There are also experience reward cards that are not item cards that will award you with experience, obviously. And then we explain blue quests, which are similar to the included gray, green, yellow, and red quests of the base game with several important differences. No creatures are spawned onto the board because of blue quests. The blue quests are not faction specific. Either faction may complete any of the available blue quests. Blue quests are not tied to a specific region on the board. They are completed by defeating independent or blue creatures. And these are the last 2 pages of the rulebook, giving us the timing of rewards, experience penalties, and bonuses. Destiny cards, which are similar to event cards, but generally have a greater impact on the realm of Lordaeron. There is one, always, and only one Destiny card in play at a time. And as soon as the Destiny card is resolved, you must immediately reveal a new Destiny card and put it into play. Some events have a negative effect if they are not resolved before the card expires, while other cards only have effects that are beneficial and last for a few turns. All Destiny cards with the word boss in their title are discarded if that boss is defeated, again, unless the card instructs you differently, and many other Destiny cards may also be discarded before they expire. The 8th page is just credits with one optional rule. If you draw a blue quest card and none of the required creatures are on the board, you may discard the quest card and draw a new one. You may only do this once per quest. The Burning Crusade board game expansion was a bigger box, and it had to be, because not only did it have this larger rulebook, which of course they could have changed the size of, but it came with its own game board, which we will be looking at here shortly. It also came with 51 plastic figures. Purple types of all the existing base game monsters: the Yeti, Wrathguards, Shivan, Ravagers, Oozes, Moarg, Fungal Giants, Arakoas, and Abominations are included with this expansion as well. You got your 2 plastic character figures to account for the missing genders of 2 of the 9 classes from the base game, so if you get this expansion, you'll now have 2 of every single character type, an alliance and horde rather. They just also happen to be opposite genders. It was clever. It was clever of them to do it that way. 2 new character sheets, one for each of the new hero types. They're not really new hero types, the new versions aesthetically. 9 level 6 character sheet extensions, one for each of the 9 classes, and that's because you can get up to level 6 if you use this expansion. The poison tokens: a Ragnaros Overlord counter, a Ragnaros token, 20 hit tokens, 54 class cards, 6 for each of the 9 classes, 38 hexagon item cards, 5 special item cards, 44 Alliance Quest, 44 Horde Quest, 18 Blue Quest, 4 Event, 6 Flying Mount, 177 Dungeon cards, which is a new addition, 4 Dungeon tokens, 4 Overlord sheets, and 9 8-sided dice. So you already had 9 dice. This is giving you 9 more. Wonder why we're going to need so many dice. Plus you get 2 creature reference sheets, and those are going to be important and handy because you have so many new creatures to reference now. Your level 6 character extensions look a little bit goofy, but I can imagine they're very handy. So enough of the manuals, let's get into some of the other visuals here. I've got my Draenei Shaman. She's really cool. I think that the World of Warcraft board game miniatures are actually not that impressive. They're really small in terms of scale. They look like they are like a sculptor's first time with their resin SLA 3D printer. They're 25 millimeter and not really as heroic as you might expect a World of Warcraft character to be. But a lot of them don't look bad. I mean, this Tauren, for example, this hunter, he's fine. He looks just fine. He could definitely be bigger, but he looks just fine. And you've got this troll, which I'm actually kind of a fan of the trolls, so they're fine too. But then you've got like this gnome, and I mean, Sometimes you can take two of these miniatures and put them together and they will look like they are in scale. And other times they're not in scale at all with each other really. So I've compartmentalized here our wounds, our energy, which is all of the stats in World of Warcraft condensed down into two things, and then our gold pieces. And then I've got one compartment for each of the classes, and that includes the face tokens that will represent the character where it is needed, as well as the miniatures for that character, and then the cards for that character. The cards for the base game are... Oh, I've kind of shuffled these. Whoops. This is crazy. Why did I mix them up so badly? These are the parts of the game that I kept actually together instead of physically separating them. Okay, so here we have the class cards that would come with the base game, with the Shadow of War, and with the Burning Crusade. So if we place the base game cards down, we see the icon in the corner. Love that for sortation reasons. This is the Shadow of War expansion. These are small cards. No, I'm not going to sleeve them. There are way too many of them. Even if I got into sleeving my stuff, there are 3 games in my collection that I would not consider sleeving. Talisman 4th Edition, World of Warcraft, and Elden Ring. There's just too much. It would take years. I haven't even played the game. Yeah, I've had it all this time and I still haven't played it. But the essence of the cards included are like Unleashed Rage. Each friendly participating character may add 2 red dice to his dice pool. End of your place tokens step, you may move up to 6 hit tokens from the damage box into the defense box. That's for elemental shields. Nature's Guardian, you may only use this talent if you have less than 6 health. Add 2 green dice to your dice pool. During your place token step, regain 1 health for each armor token you place in the defense box. It goes on like that. I am not going to be able to, at this stage, tell you the thematic differences necessarily. I guess that these are probably abilities that you gain in the Burning Crusade, or abilities that would have been unlocked through levels that you were able to achieve if you had played the Burning Crusade expansion. Actually, Shar could school me on this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is probably the case, actually. When you use Reincarnation, you instead regain 4 health and 4 energy, and you don't lose any actions. Tidal Mastery, when you use Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning, gain reroll +2, and so on. There are so many cards that can come with the class. It quickly kind of feels like it could be more of a deck management type of situation, and kind of all of these board game RPG type of games are like that, to some small, sometimes greater than small degree. There's the traditional token on the floor. 1 second. That really went under there too. I like my storage solution, okay? It's going to be a little bit more effort to put everything away, but I like it overall. I do wish these were clear. Gosh, I wish Dollar Tree had the clear ones again. They were as close to perfect as you could get. Okay, what else is new? More dice. They are just normal 8-sided dice. So the implication here of them being different colors is that there are different levels of power, and having more dice of a certain color in your dice pool is better than having a different color. We've got flying mount cards. We've got 6 of them, 3 for Horde, 3 for Alliance. You may enter regions surrounded by a black border. You may move up to 3 regions during a travel action. You may move through regions containing blue creatures without ending your movement and without taking challenge actions against them. Presumably 1 card for each of the 6 players. Up to hexagon item cards. This is a new type of card from the Burning Crusade, and they include cards such as the Jade Amulet, the Amulet of Good Fortune, the Bloodstone, the Pendant of Warding, the Crystal Adorned Crown, the Netherstorm Scepter, the Fate-Bound Ring, the Cursed Talisman, the Gnomish Poultryizer, love that, classic Warcraft humor there, the Horn of Summoning, Earthshaker, the Riding Turtle, it's a mount, the Ring of Strength, the Thought Blighter, the Thought Blighter, the Bloodthirster, the Blaster Shot Launcher, the Totem of Poison Resistance, the Bone Warder Talisman, the Traveler's Pack, the Corium Scope, the Venom Coil, Wrathtide Longbow, the Demon Forged Breastplate, Sanctuary Signet, Telescopic Sharp Rifle, Guiding Stave of Wisdom, Robe of Volatile Power, Ebon Hand, Interlaced Shadow, Jerkin, Ribley's Quiver, Striker's Mark, Renatiki, Soul Conduit, Breastplate of Annihilation, Jagged Obsidian Shield, Arctic Trident, Circles of Restless Dreams, Heartseeker, Vest of Swift Execution. Where am I? Oh yes, cards. Those were hexagon cards. The most impressive and probably daunting bit out of all of this is probably going to be the new board that comes with this Burning Crusade level expansion. I won't go through the additional Horde and Alliance quests, but before I look at the board, I will show you some of these new items. It's like 103 or 130 of these that come with the Burning Crusade. There's just so many. Not the Burning Crusade. Shadow of War. See, I'm gonna get them confused. Book of Alchemy, Onyxia Blood Talisman, Pendant of the Fallen Dragon, a Rune Cloth Bag. You may store 3 additional items in your bag. I love items like this in games that have any sort of item management at all. The Tome of Arcane Domination, Sanctified Orb, Pendant of the Kiraji Guardian, Poison Spider Fang, Reinforced Lock Chest. It goes on like that. The Heart of Noxion, Chimeric Chops. But yeah, most all of these are going to be things that allow you to manage your character at the start of your faction turn or the start of your dice pool step. You'll be able to manipulate your dice pools in some manner. During your dice pool step, during your reroll step, start of the combat round, start of your action, start of your place token step, end of your resolution step. This is daunting, and it actually makes me afraid to try to learn this game. Might need a real-life human to teach me the rules here. Don't know if I'm going to be able to retain all of the steps. I have heard that Warcraft is a long game. I know the box says, does the box say anything? I don't know if the box says 90 minutes or what. I know people have spent entire afternoons getting through a session of World of Warcraft. And it's not like it's a campaign thing. Like, you play one giant game, and then when it's over, the next time you play, you're not having anything to do with that previous game. I believe these are the Destiny cards, and examples of these include Witherheart the Stalker, who is a boss, travel to Shadra Alor O and defeat Winterheart the Stalker. That's not an O, I guess it's just a white circle. Threat 6, attack 12, health 16. If you are defeated, you must also discard your highest level item. If 2 or more items are tied for the highest level, you choose which item to discard. If this card expires, Nefarian automatically advances 2 spaces. Your reward, 10 gold, 6 experience, 2 square item cards, and 2 circle item cards, the Skullflame Shield or Storm Rager. Love this reward banner. It's actually super easy to read, and it tells you everything you need to know. Same thing here with Death Speaker Salandra. Travel to the Fungal Vale, yellow, and defeat Death Speaker Salandra with threat 7, attack 9, and 10 health. At the end of each dice pool step, the active character loses 1 energy for each red or blue 1 result. Then place an equal number of energy tokens on this card. If 5 or more are placed, discard the energy tokens, and all participating characters immediately lose 3 health. So that's kind of your DPS check being translated to board game form. I don't know if that was something that we can credit Christian T. Peterson for, but man, if it is, you did such an awesome job translating these MMORPG concepts into the board game. Like, you know, he's ever going to watch this video, but I love that stuff. I just want everybody to know I appreciate it highly. I love video game mechanics that are well done, and they have to be pretty well crafted in MMOs, or else the MMO is just going to crash and burn. World of Warcraft is one of the longest, most enduring MMOs, so to have a board game this ambitious that can pull off things like this is just really good design. The reward here, you can tell at a glance. 11 gold coins, 6 experience, 2 square, and 2 circle items, and then a heart-seeking crossbow or the Seal of Ascension. Another Destiny card, Bitter Winds. While this card is in play, each character must lose 2 health every time he or she uses a flight path. And Hunters of the Wild. While this card is in play, each character may spend 3 gold at the start of his faction turn to remove 1 independent creature from the board. Each character may only use this ability once per faction turn. They go on like that, but highly impressive, and I forget what these cards are called. No, the elf is not naked. Pretty close to it, but I think these are regular Horde and Alliance quest cards. Krethis Shadow Spinner, a boss. So I think you have to kind of get together and fight on cards like this, and the stronger faction will receive the top reward, and the weaker faction will receive the bottom reward. So there's incentive for both factions to get there and to participate and do their best in order to become the stronger faction of the two, if they can survive the challenge at all. Another thing that I think is a highly well-polished concept, translated very well to board game form. There's a reason that I felt like I needed to have this game and its expansions in my collection, in my tentative to play. Now, I don't know if other people are storing their Burning Crusade board the same way, but instead of having it like folded into a square, I wanted to have it have the rectangle shape of the board from the base game in this box. And who knows, maybe I will take steps to kind of permanently attach this split that's along here, because this is a quad fold board. But here you have this section of the world from World of Warcraft. I'm horrible because I haven't played enough to know what the names of this continent or the other continents are, but you have Fellstorm Point, Death's Door, Bloodmaw Outpost, the Forge Camp, Terror, Circle of Blood. Then you can see that these are not just like outlined in red, but you've got outlined in black also. So this would be like a restriction of travel over which mounts would be able to fly. So you can ignore those if you're on a mount, but if you're not on a mount, I believe that you have restrictions as far as travel goes. Angarosh Grounds, Coilfang Reservoir, the Dead Mire, Umbrafen Lake, the Laughing Skull Ruins, Hala, the Ring of Trials, Shatrath City. And here we have plenty of emblems over Shatrath City. I don't know what they mean. I guess they could mean like headquarters of Horde and Alliance. I think those are the Horde and Alliance symbols. And it could actually mean that you have to draw certain cards. The Bone Wastes, the Hand of Gul'dan. Heard a lot of memes about Gul'dan in my time. The Dark Portal, Zethgor, Honor Hold Thrallmar, the Throne of Kil'jaeden, Manaforge Koru, Manaforge Duro, Manaforge Benar, Manaforge Ultras, and so on. This board will go onto your table with your other board. There are actually tips in the book that tell you what you can do if you are running out of table space in order to preserve what little table real estate you have and at the same time keep things manageable. I think that's super cool. Okay, we have our character sheets here, and like I said, the additional characters, which would be on the backs of these with the base game. On the reverse side of these, you have just like a big World of Warcraft emblem. It makes you wonder why they bothered leaving out the characters at all, unless it was, again, tied to the possibility of classes opening up to certain races in the Burning Crusade expansion from the MMO side. But if you get the Burning Crusade expansion, you get access to these two duplicate character sheets, and on the opposite side are the other factions that have access to this class now. Vin and Sunblade, who again is the miniature that I was missing for this, and Kadila, who is just a lovely Draenei lady. Big fan of these goats. You're able to place cards down in these slots. You have some permanent ability or abilities with which you start out, some numbered card borders at the bottom to line up cards, and then places to pool your various tokens. You can see that the classes are different from one another in this regard. And then we've got our levels, which I believe give us our maximum amounts of health and mana. So 3 and 3 for our Shaman, 3 and 2 for our Paladin, then 5 and 4, and 4 and 5, 7, 5, 5, 7, 9, 6, 7, 9, 12, 8, and 9 and 11. They grow in different ways. I think that that's a really smart way of doing things also. Illidan Stormrage, Lady Vaj, and Kel'Thas, and Ragnaros. I think those are, the 4 overlords who come with the expansion. And then just to keep things, maintain sort of the separation that I have here. And I know this is a horror story waiting to happen, but these are the biggest, chunkiest miniatures that I have. And I feel like as long as there's not a lot of jostling, which I don't do a whole lot of dance moves or Olympics or anything with my board games, they'll be safe here in this sort of cavity formed by this separation of plastic. These trays, by the way, or containers, are from Dollar Tree right now as of the time of recording this video. I bought like 10 of them all at once thinking I'll have a stockpile. No, I used almost all of them in the first couple of days of going through my board games and restoring my miniatures and the like. But as shared before, we have purple versions of monsters, which are going to be stronger than the red, green, and blue versions of these monsters that can be placed on the board. When you are given access, let me just throw him down here, access to the new talents and powers of the expansions, you have to have monsters who are worthy to fight using those new powers, and you have purple versions of the new enemies that are available who are just strong in their own right, like the Abomination, who is just utterly disgusting, absolutely gross, very much a Nurgle if we're going the Warhammer route. And then we have the Khorne if we're going the Warhammer route. I actually forgot what this guy's called. Is he a Doomwrath? We don't have to look at any of the purple versions of the miniatures that come with the base game, so all those can just stay where they are at. But I wanted to show you, I think this is a fungal giant, if I'm not mistaken. Look at the grin this guy is sporting. He's straight up evil. Got 3 claws. And yeah, the chunkier ones are definitely made of a nice thick plastic. It's very rewarding to have and hold in your hand. But a couple of these guys, Doom, Wrath, Guard people, I had one with a detached sword and wing and tail. So evidently he tried to go flying around in the box during post, which, you know, post is always a dangerous, tumultuous time. If you were wondering, since I had the base game and I bought this trilogy, it means that I have 2 copies of the base game. So yes, I will be looking to offload the base game copy that I have, although it is going to contain a couple of components that are inferior. We have these guys now. I'm actually not sure at this point if they came with the base game or not. I'm just not familiar enough. I don't have this out in the open enough to know. I wish they had kept some kind of printing on the base to tell you what they were from, though. You do get, however, the Shaven. These guys actually could have benefited from slightly better quality control. These guys, not in particular, but some of the miniatures. There's like flash around the bases. It's crazy to think that you could pay secondhand prices for something out of print and then get the thing in the mail. And by the way, this is of no fault at all by the seller that sold the game to me in any way, shape, or form. It's just a manufacturing complaint that I have. And you have stuff that comes out that has flash. These guys have a little bit of flash. So, I mean, you could go through and remove some of that. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that would get you disqualified from like a painting competition. Not that I'm entering many of those. We get these guys too. Pretty sure that they are expansion exclusive. I like them. They're dangerous looking. They're very World of Warcraft looking. That's my metric. It looks World of Warcraft. I actually want to show you. This is the one that's got the flash really bad around the base. Like, come on. That's a quality control at the factory issue. Like, we can actually remove that with our fingernails. However, I do have one of those nice little rotatey blade knives that I can use on that I also used back in my days as a plastics manufacturing. Look at the flash on this creature's nose. It's just all over the place. It's crazy. There's not even any gate material. It's just flash. This slime is very reminiscent of a Dark Souls character, but I know it's a World of Warcraft ooze. But that is more or less the Burning Crusade and Shadow of War expansions, and I'm pretty excited to be able to get this on the table at some point, although I know it's going to probably be a while, because there's a lot to absorb here. There's a lot of rules, there's a lot of learning, and it's not going to be overnight, and I'm going to have to dedicate some time to it, which I just don't have at the moment. Don't have time right now at this time. Here they are, the level 6 extension cards. Yeah, aren't these fun? So these will go right on the edge here. So if you're level 5, you just stick these right on the end of your sheet, and now you can reach level 6. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that great? That's great, right? Not this isn't the character to do this with, by the way. This is obviously a different character, but they're showing you the stats, the class to which this particular card would apply. It comes with 9, so you can give that level 6 opportunity to all of your classes. I think earlier I said you could reach level 5 and 6. I just meant 6. You can already reach level 5. That is the right way to do an expansion. Scale up your heroes, provide enemies, provide everything that actually enforces the scaling. Scaling is one of the most difficult things to do in a board game in terms of design, because it's the thing that could, well, it's the 3rd dimension. I mean, I guess I should say 5th. It's the dimension of possibility, of potential. We didn't look at the dungeon cards. There are many different dungeon cards because there are 4, I think, dungeons that come with this. And in here, there are items, there are monsters to fight, just challenges, rewards, all kinds of different things under the same backing. Dungeons to challenge in this new region of the board. They weren't obvious, but I kept my set of solo play homebrew rules with this box. So if I ever decide to play this game solo, which would actually help me learn it quite a bit, I can use that rule set. And that's World of Warcraft, the board game, in its entirety. I learned that there was a 3rd expansion that was never released. I think the only copy of the presentation box that even survived was because of its appearance at a convention. But the contents of that expansion, I think, were never released in any way, shape, or form. And so we don't have that 3rd expansion. But if we ever did, I would be more than happy to get it, because I think that if ever there were a game worthy of getting more expansions that would be easy to design well and add on to the base, in a sequential manner, well, this is it right here, because those expansions already exist in video game form. All right, that's enough hand acting from me for now, so I will see you wonderful viewers in the next exciting adventure. Until then, brave heroes, goodbye for now.